Hi guys, I hope you're all doing well. My name is Joyce, and just in case you're new here, I live in Canada, in the rural part of Canada, and I've been sharing tips on how people can migrate to Canada and the US. And I also share about my lifestyle once in a while. And today we are so excited to have a guest. And today I'll not talk so much because remember when there's a guest, we try to keep quiet a little bit and then we can let the guest tell us what he came to tell us. Today we invited him and we are so excited to have him here. So welcome, Bob, and let us know your names and go ahead and introduce yourself.
All right. Thank you so much for inviting me to your platform. My name is Bob Mwiti, and
Yeah.
I live in the US. I live in a city called Tampa, which is based out of the state of Florida. And been in the US for about 11 years now. I came to the US in 2009, and I came here as an international student. I came to
Yeah.
do my master's in business administration in professional accountancy. And once I graduated, I just decided to live and work here, just like most of us do. So yeah, so that's pretty much my little background. In terms of where I come from Kenya, on the on the slopes of Mount Kenya, the eastern side of it, at a place called Meru. So that's really my background.
Wow. That is a good introduction. And at least now we know you, those who didn't know Bob Mwiti. I know most of you have heard about him because he's been in the field for a while. He has been airlifting international students from Kenya and then to US, and he's going to tell us more about it because that is how I found him. And I thought if we invite him here, he's going to shed more light into what he does, and I'm sure he's going to help so many of us so that we can have I always say that it's good that we have information so that we can make informed decisions on whether to come to Canada or to go to the States for your studies. Go ahead and introduce your organization.
All right, thank you so much. Yes, so I do run an organization called Tech America, which is an
Mhm.
IT consulting firm. We deal mostly with people who are already here in the US and they want to get into the tech industry. Then they need some training. We offer those kind of training programs. Also, part of what we do, we advise and we try to bring brilliant students who want to come and study here in the US, specifically in the areas of IT or business, master's programs. So we focus on masters. We don't do anything to do with, for example, PhD or undergraduate. So we just focus on master's level students. We do training programs. We also coach people who want to come and, who are seeking student visas. We do have such programs where we can train them. We have some really, really intensive visa coaching programs. And the reason also why we do this is because I personally, it took me almost 8 years to get here in the US. I was denied visa 4 times. So I know the pain of
Yeah.
not getting visas, because a lot of our people really are not able to get those visas at the embassy, and it can be very, very frustrating. So we decided
Mhm.
also to help out those who want to come here and they need some help in terms of how to prepare themselves for the visas. Then we can help them. Now, yes, we in terms of those that we bring here to come and study generally IT masters, we do have an amazing program called the Kenya Airlift Program. And it's a program that we bring brilliant students who want to come and study IT related master's programs here in the US. Okay. You must be smart. The minimum requirements for that program is a B mean grade in KCSE with a B in math, and then also you must have scored at least a second class division. It can be upper, it can be lower. Okay, and if you have those kind of minimum qualifications, then you can definitely be able to get into that Kenya Airlift program. Now, the Kenya Airlift program, we are trying to solve a problem that a lot of our people face, those who want to come and study here in the US, and also even those who come and who are already here in the US. Okay. Now, like I said earlier, I came to the US as an international student, and I struggled a lot. Okay, from the point where I started thinking of leaving Kenya and coming here, I've said that I struggled even getting a visa. I was there a visa 4 times. It took me 8 good years to finally make it here. And also now, once I got here, once I graduated from school, it was quite a challenge for me to get a very well paying job because of the fact that I was on a student visa. And when you come on a student visa, you have to figure out how now to transition from being a student here in the US to now being someone who has a visa that can allow them to live and work here in the US. Okay, and this is something that a lot of people who are out there, they usually don't know. Like, for example, when I was in Kenya, when I got that visa, I was just happy that I've gotten the visa after struggling for so many years. But I really didn't know what's going to happen once I graduated from school here in the US. Okay, and this is what I see a lot of our people. It's the same situation that I see with a lot of our students who come here. So most of them, they're just happy that they've gotten the visa. And if you ask them whether they want to come back once they are done with their school, most of them don't want to come back. But they don't really know how now they're gonna transition from being a student on a student visa to now living and working here and being on a work visa or being a permanent resident. Okay, so that's where most of our people have a challenge. Okay, and these are some of the things that when you are out there, for example, if you're watching this video and probably you're in Kenya, you don't even know about these things because you're not here yet. Okay, and that's the surprise that a lot of people get. Once they get here, now they have to start thinking now of how now do they transition from being a student to a skilled worker and be able to live and work here permanently. Okay, so
Yes.
so I had that challenge, and I had to extend school by 1 semester because it was very hard for me even to get an internship. And one of the main reasons is because now when you come here in the US as an international student and you want to live and work here once you graduate from school, normally the US government, they usually give a work authorization once you graduate from school. It's a post-graduation work authorization. It's called optional practical training, which is usually for 1 year. For example, if you're coming for an MBA, you get a 1 year. If you're coming for a STEM program, STEM basically means science, technology, engineering, mathematics kind of a program, you get up to 3 years of work authorization, post-graduation work authorization. Now, you use that time, like for example, I came for an MBA, I had 1 year post-graduation work authorization. Now, within that 1 year, you must find, if you really want to live and work in the US long term, you must find an employer who is willing to sponsor you to live and work here. You can't just decide you want to live here and then sponsor yourself. No, you must find a company that is willing to sponsor you. Okay, a company that is willing to file for your papers. All right. Now, where the problem lies is that the US government requires companies to show that they are hiring you because you have a skill that Americans don't have. All right. So to all the US companies, they are required to hire Americans first. Then they can hire the rest of the people. Okay. Now, if you don't have a skill that Americans don't have, then it's very hard for you to find a company that will be willing to spend money on you because that filing of your papers, it costs money to the company, lawyer fees and all that. It costs thousands and thousands of dollars. So if you have just basic qualifications in terms of your skills and all that, no company will take you on board. And that's really the problem that I was having when I graduated from school, even with an MBA, because what I really had was just academic qualifications. Okay. Back in Kenya, before I got here, I had worked in Kenya for about 6 months. I used to work for Equity Bank as a bank teller. Okay. So that's really the kind of, work experience that I had. Now, as a bank teller, here in the US, bank tellers are usually people who just graduated from high school. You don't need a master's degree for you to become a
Yes.
bank teller.
Yes.
Okay, and I
Yes.
think it's the same thing in Canada. You don't need that for you
Yes.
to be a
You don't
bank
need.
teller.
Yeah.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So if you have that kind of experience or skill,
Yeah.
it's not, you can't really approach a company and tell them, hey, you know what, I have these skills and I need you to employ me and sponsor me. because you
Yeah.
don't have a skill that Americans don't have, right? Because there's so many
Exactly.
Americans out there that can be teller people. You understand?
Yeah.
There's so many
Yeah.
Americans out there with MBAs and they're actually looking for jobs. All right. So
Yeah.
these are things that I really didn't know until now when I was about to graduate and I couldn't even find a job because me, I wanted to stay here long term. And I even had to extend school by 1 semester because I didn't want to graduate. And then now I don't have anything lined up. So I was giving myself some time, okay, buying time so that now I can keep on looking for work. All right. Now, so after struggling and I couldn't find anything, I realized that most Asian students, usually Indians, they were graduating from school, from my class, from my MBA class. They were graduating and they were getting a job. All right, all right.
Yes. Mm.
Whereas students
We
who
were
have come
not.
from the same background, like me, for example, the ones from Africa, Kenya, Nigeria, blah, 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 they were also struggling like me. They were not finding any jobs.
Yes.
So me being someone who is very, very inquisitive, I like, asking questions and I don't just sit there and wait for things to happen just like that,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So I want to know what's going on. Why is these Indians, why are they getting jobs? And then yet me, I'm struggling here. I can't even find an internship. So,
Yes.
I reached out to them, a few of them who are my friends, and I asked them, like, how come so and so was able to get a job and me, I had to extend school by 1 semester trying to look for work. And I hear them, they were working, I don't know, with Google as a systems analyst. Someone else is working where, I don't know, Yahoo as a business analyst, like that. So I asked them, like, how is that possible? So they told me, you know what? You can go for some training. There's a lot of companies out there that offer IT trainings because IT, you can get high income IT skills. Okay, you can get trained on those kind of skills. And then because there's a demand of IT professionals in the US, as much as we know the Americans, they're educated and all that, there's actually not many Americans who work in the tech industry, especially where you're working in the tech industry, where you're really solving complex companies' problems, where you're working as a consultant. So they told
Yeah.
me that if you can have that kind of a skill, then a lot of
Mm-hmm.
companies out there will be willing to sponsor you to live and work here in the US. All right.
Mm-hmm.
So that's
Yeah.
how I took up that chance. I started looking for companies that could train me and ultimately employ me as a systems analyst. And I got trained as an Oracle systems analyst. Even though I didn't have any IT background, me from Kenya, I had a business degree. I had done Bachelor of Commerce degree in accounting and finance. I came to the US to do an MBA, and I was trained to be that person who sets up the Oracle system, which is basically a very complex system that companies use to record day-to-day transactions. Without necessarily having to do any coding. So I don't know how to code up to now, and I've been in this industry for about 10 years now. So, and I like highlighting this because a lot of our people out there, especially as Africans, we don't really embrace IT that much, whereas it pays amazingly well. Okay, you find a lot of people, they fear IT because they think IT is all about coding. No, it's not. Because even me, I have no IT background. I don't know how to code. I used to be in the IT sector. I used to make a lot of money. It's like really, really good money. I used to make more than 6-figure salary a year, which is basically earning about 1 million Kenya shillings a month, which is really good money. Okay,
Wow.
so
Yeah.
it pays well. It pays well, and for you now as an international student, like I said, for you to really get a company that can sponsor you, you have to have that kind of a skill
Yeah.
that will make them now want to sponsor you for you to live and work here long term. Okay,
Oh.
so that's what I did. So I got
Uh-huh.
trained, and then later on, I was able to get a job as a consultant with the same company that trained me. They also filed for my papers. There's a work authorization that you get here. It's
Mm-hmm.
called H1B visa, which you get up to 6 years. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
and then within those 6 years, you can also ask your company again, the same one that filed for you, to now
Mm-hmm.
file for your employment-based green card. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
green card is basically an authorization by the US government. I think a lot of people know about green card,
Yes.
where
Yes.
now it allows you to live here without any conditions. You can work for
Yeah.
any employer and things like those. Okay,
Yeah.
so that's really how I was able now to transition into the corporate world, working as a systems analyst in the Oracle technology. And I was able to get my green card. Later on, I quit my job and then I started my company. Okay. Now,
Wow.
having faced those challenges and those problems, I realized because I came as a student, I faced these challenges. I could clearly see that a lot of our people face exact same challenges that I faced. In fact, actually, statistics show that we have about 30% of those people who live here in the US from Africa who don't have the right documents to live here. Meaning they are not allowed to live here, but they still do. Okay, 30%.
Okay.
And out of that, majority of those people actually, they came here as international students. Okay. Yeah. So
That's
it
very
shows,
sad.
yes, so it shows that there's a problem because all those international students who are coming here, they are not able to transition. Once they graduate from school, they're not able to transition to get into really good jobs, to get the documents to help them live and work here. Okay.
Yeah.
There's a disconnect. Once someone graduates and now once they start working here. Okay. And that's what I started thinking about solving. Okay. That problem of papers. Now, how do you get papers? Since me, I was able to get mine through employment, it's possible. The US government, they give about 85,000 H-1B visas. They also give about 140,000 employment-based green cards. And all these papers, most of them, they go to Indians. They are the ones who usually have these skills that Americans don't have. You won't find our people, getting H-1B visas or employment-based green cards. Very few of them. Okay, and I was lucky to be one of those few people. Okay, so
use of skills.
Yes. Now, one of the main reasons why these people are not able to get these employment-based green cards or H-1B visas is because most of them, they don't have the information. They can't just come to the US to study. No one tells them what they needed to do. They are just like, for example, the way I didn't know anything, right? Until someone. It's because I was a little bit inquisitive to try and see what these other guys are doing, and that's the reason why they were getting jobs. But a lot of people, they are not that inquisitive, so they are just sitting there without that information, and then they graduate from school, they can't get a job, they can't get the papers. All now they do is just stay under the system. You understand?
No.
Yes. So that's why we have that number of that percentage, about 30% of people without the right documents. Now the problem is, if you don't have the right documents to live here in the US or even Canada, it's gonna be very hard for you. Even if you are educated, even if you are smart, it's gonna be very hard for you to get a job in the corporate world.
Yes. Unless you do under table jobs.
Under the table job, and those under the table job they're gonna be paying you minimum wage. Huh?
Yes, you can survive on that alone.
You can survive on that, and then you're a smart person. Okay, so you also find like so many of our people actually don't make good money. You see, some of those people who are back in Africa or back in Kenya, when they compare what they are making with us, they think that us in the diaspora make good money. But actually, as Africans, we don't make a lot of money. I'll give you an example. Statistics show that Indians, okay, you're gonna hear me talking about Indians in this session a lot. Okay, because I've worked with these guys. They're the ones who made me get into the tech industry. If you go into the tech world, 70 to 80% of those people who work in the tech space, they're usually Indians. Okay. Now, statistics show that Indians make about $100,000 per year per household as median household income. $100,000, yeah? Now, the best performing African group of immigrants is Nigerians. Nigerians, by the way, Nigerians, they don't just sit there. They are always on the move. Yeah.
Even here.
Even there, right? Yes. Yeah. And they are also sharp. Yeah. So
very sharp.
Yeah. So those are the guys that make most money in terms of African group. They make around 60,000. Now, can you look at that? Our best performing group is making $60,000 per year. Whereas if you compare with what Indians are making, Indians, they make more than the Americans. Americans make around 60 also. So Indians are making 100, us, the best, are making 60. Can you see the gap? It's almost like double.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So most of our people, they're not in good jobs. They're really not. We have a lot of smart people working in warehouses. Okay. You know, working in warehouses where they are getting paid maybe $15, and they're just comfortable doing those kind of jobs and doing, you know, a lot of, you know, like maybe working so many hours. Okay.
And there are people who could be doing better than that. Yeah.
Yeah, but if you're smart, you don't have to work so many hours for you to make some decent amount of money. You can actually get a skill that can get you a very well-paying job where you don't have to work 100 hours a week. Okay.
Exactly.
Where you can work Monday through Friday. For example, if in the IT industry, like the way I used to work from Monday through Friday, Monday 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. all the way Monday through Friday, and that's it. And I make about 1 million Kenya shillings a month. I don't have to do any extra shifts. Okay.
No.
So these are some of the things that a lot of our people really don't know. And this is really what we try to fix in any of our programs. Okay. Where our people can earn good money. Okay. Because also research shows that as Africans, we are one of the most highly educated groups of immigrants.
Yes, that's true.
Yeah. But what we make does not relate with what we have in our brains.
Yes.
Okay. We are one of the most highly educated, but yet when you look at what we are making, we are making nothing. Okay. We are making nothing. Yes. And this is because a lot of people don't know where the money is. What they are doing is trying to do all these jobs, trying to like work extra shifts and all that, just barely making enough. Okay, rather than for example, getting trained on high income skill, okay, and now working and making a six-figure salary. All right. Okay. So based on all those challenges that I figured out, that's the main reason why we really formed the Kenya Airlift program. Okay.
Yes.
To help in fixing those three problems. One, the problem of funding, because it's very, very expensive to come and study either in Canada or in the US.
Yes.
In the US,
it's usually 4 times more.
Yes.
It's 4 times more than a local. Yeah.
It's a lot of money. In fact, actually, here in the US, it's going to cost you, if you're coming for a master's program in 2 years' time, it's going to cost you on average about $50,000. That's 5 million Kenya shillings. How many people have 5 million Kenya shillings in Kenya? Not many.
Not many.
Unless you come from a political class, you know, not many people have that kind of money.
And you only have how many hours of work as an international student do you have per week in US?
We are given 20 hours to work and on campus. Yeah, 20 hours on campus. But you see, one thing that I always try to tell people is this, right? Like if you are coming as a serious student, don't think that, because a lot of people back home, they think that you can come to the US to study and then be able to work and be able to pay that $50,000 in 2 years. That's a lot of money. You can't really work as a student and pay that kind of a
20 hours is not enough to pay that.
It's not enough. And yet, even when you're working as a student, you're making minimum wage. That's nothing. That money it's only for you to, to help you with your living expenses. It can't really pay for your school fees.
Yes.
So anyways, so what we do, we source for funding. In this Kenya Airlift program, we bring master students who want to come and study IT. We work with specific schools. We have about 8 schools right now. We source for funding from those schools in terms of graduate assistantship awards. A graduate assistantship award is more of like an arrangement with the school where they pay either full or part of your tuition fees, and they give you a job where you can work with the professors. You can help out with, let's say, for example, helping out with grading of assignments for undergraduates, doing research work for the professors. So they pay part of your tuition fees or full tuition fees. Then they give you a job to work with the professors, and also they give you a stipend to work. I mean, a stipend every month to help you, with your living expenses. Okay, so that's usually
Yeah.
the arrangement that we have in that airlift program. But also, because you can get half funded, so there's another half that you really have to pay, which is a lot of money, because international students, they usually charge out of state tuition fees. They don't get charged like the people from the same state where the school is located. If, for example, if a school is charging $5,000 to a local, a school, let's say, for example, University of Tampa, here in Tampa, Florida, it's charging, let's say, for example, 5,000 to the locals, it's going to charge 10,000 to an international student or anybody who is not from Florida. If you come
Yes.
from Alabama, you're out of state, you're going to be charged just like someone who is coming from Kenya. So it's a lot of money. So even if a school is paying half of your tuition fees as a graduate assistantship award, there's still a lot of money that a lot of people are not able to raise. So also what we do, we use lenders who offer unsecured international student loans. Okay. These lenders, they give loans which don't require you to have any collateral or any security.
Oh.
All you have to show is that you're smart, you have the brains, because they look at people who are more likely to get a job once they graduate from school. Okay, then they give you a grace period where you start repaying later on, maybe 6 months after graduation, and you start repaying your loan. Okay.
Yeah.
So they give to good students, bright students, and they work with specific schools. These are usually good schools. We work with state universities because there's so many schools here in the US. They work with those good schools because they know those good schools usually attract good students. They don't just want to give money to just anybody out there just because they want a loan. No, it has to be someone who is not very risky to lend to. Okay, so that's why they try to lend to smart students. So that's what we use in our airlift program. That's why I said initially that the Kenya Airlift program is not just for anybody out there also. We require you to have scored at least a B in KCSE with a B in math, and you should have scored at least a second-class division in your undergraduate. It can be any undergraduate major. Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
Now, so we solve that problem of funding. Also, what we do also to solve the problem of now people who are graduating and not getting good jobs in corporate America. Like I said, a lot of our people don't make really good money. So what we do, we train those guys who are coming through our Kenya Airlift program. We train them on the side on latest IT job skills. Okay. Remember, I said initially that as a company, what we do, we are basically a consulting firm. We run IT training programs for those who are here in the US. Okay, and these are job skills training programs. And also we look for jobs for people. That is part of what we do. We do placement services in the IT sector. So the same exact skills that we normally train people on here in the US, we train guys who are coming through our Kenya Airlift program, and this training is for free. Okay. These are skills that we charge a lot of money. Some of our training programs, they go for even as much as $3,000. And we give these trainings for free to those brilliant students who are coming through our Kenya Airlift program, so that now, by the time they finish their master's program, master's takes about 2 years, they will already have the skills that are needed in the job market that employers are looking for, that will enable them get those good jobs. The job, like for example, like the same job that I got, and those jobs usually come with papers where companies now can sponsor you because you already have a skill that Americans don't have.
Exactly.
All right. Yeah. So you see now how we are solving that problem of good jobs and immigration papers after you graduate. So that's really what we focus on, those 3 things in that Kenya Airlift program. Okay, so I know majority of the people out there, and that's really why I like talking about what we are trying to achieve in the Kenya Airlift program, and that's really also why I appeared on your platform to educate people on exactly what you are trying to do in the Kenya Airlift program, because most people out there, all they think of is, oh, we are trying to bring people to come and study here in the US. That's really not the case. I mean, bringing students to come and study here, that's just one of the things that we do in the program. But the bigger problem is the issue of good jobs in corporate America and papers, immigration documents to live here in the US without having to worry of being deported or being done anything. right? That's what we are
Yeah.
trying to do. Okay, so that's really what we are trying to do in that Kenya Airlift program. Again, that program is for those who are interested in studying IT-related master's programs. You don't have to have an IT undergraduate, because I get a lot of people also asking me, like, for example, hey, Bob, I don't have any IT undergraduate. How can I do an IT master's? Well, it's possible. Remember also I said, personally, I've been in the IT industry, I have a business degree, and I've been able to really do well in the tech industry without having to know how to code. Okay, so
even
also,
somebody who has done nursing
even
for the
someone with
undergraduate.
nothing, anybody can do an IT master's
Really?
as long as you have a passion for IT. You see, also,
Wow.
as much as we are
Wow.
talking about IT and all that, I may be biased in terms of trying to encourage people to get into the tech industry, because I've been there and I've seen the benefits of being in tech space. But also, you don't want to try something that you are not passionate about, because also a lot of people out there, they don't like IT. Yeah, they don't have passion for IT. So if you don't have passion for IT, don't get in. But if you have, because what I know is this: a lot of people, you know me, when I went when I was doing my undergraduate in Kenya, initially I was supposed to go to Nairobi University for a Bachelor of Science degree. Okay, but also I didn't like that degree. And that's what a lot of people also do, because Kenya, what happens when you pass your KCSE high school, it's usually the government that decides what you're gonna do, especially if you don't get
it's very unfair.
you know, so unfair. You find you've been accepted to do, I don't know, Bachelor of whatever, and that's even something that you never thought that you do. Okay, so there's a lot of people out there that probably would have wanted to be in the tech industry, but they were called to do maybe sociology, I don't know what, maybe something different from what they wanted. So there's so many of them there, and those are the ones that we encourage to get into the tech industry, because those are still people who are passionate about tech, but they didn't get a chance of doing the undergraduate in tech. Okay, all right. So anybody can join, because I mean, anybody with that kind of undergraduate, any kind of undergraduate major can join, as long as they scored a B in KCSE. Because also some of the IT master's programs that we ask these guys to do here in the US, they are not like really very hardcore IT, you know. They're like, for example, it's not like computer science. You still, I mean, if you have a computer science undergraduate, you can still do computer science masters. Or you can't ask, for example, someone who has done, let's say, for example, sociology, to come and do computer science. It's not possible. But that person can actually do something like, for example, business analytics, operations management, you know, data analytics. It's possible for that person to do that kind of IT masters. Okay, so that's really what we have in our program. So, and you can also do, for example, project management. That doesn't require any coding. Okay, and you make some good money in the tech industry. Once you get that and you get our training on the side, you can do amazingly well. And also part of what we do when we train you, it's not just about training. Also, we look for jobs for you once you graduate from school. Okay,
wow.
So that now you will have a good job. You don't leave you just to figure things out on your own. No, we do it, we help you, because I personally have gone through that path. I came as a student, I was able to figure things out. I was able to get my papers through employment. I was able to get a well-paying job, okay, a dream job for so many people. And that's really what we want anybody who's coming through the Kenya Airlift program to be able to get those dream jobs and also get the papers to live and work here. Because if you don't have the papers, like we said, well, even if you're smart, you can't really work in corporate America. You're going to be earning very little amount of money. So that's really much about it, you know, about the Kenya Airlift program.
I think you're not done. We want to hear more. You know how I met you. I think I met you in 2019. That time you did. I never even knew I was going to host you, and I never knew I was going to have a YouTube channel. And I felt so good when I found you and I learned what you're doing, because I think that time you had a YouTube channel and you were showcasing a lady you had airlifted from Meru.
Yes.
And she was so excited. Her family was escorting her to the airport. You remember that case?
Yeah.
How
Yes.
is that girl doing? I would like to know how she's doing. That was
She's
her.
doing great. She's doing great. She
And the
got a
family
full.
was so happy. So that is
Yes.
how I first met you. Then I forwarded that video to so many people. I don't know whether the people did anything about it, but you know
Mhm.
me, I always find information and I try to share.
Yes.
So now I can't imagine that you're finally here and you're sharing this information live with us. So tell
Yeah.
me
And
something about visa, because visa, I know that the visa officers sometimes can try to argue that you cannot do a program that, like for example, if you did a different kind of undergraduate and now you're applying
yeah.
to come and do a master's in IT, they are going to argue
Yes.
that how come you are deciding to do something very different from what you trained undergraduate? How do you deal with
Absolutely.
that?
Yes, that's a very, very good question. Okay, and I like talking about visas a lot because I
Yeah.
went through hell. Okay,
Yes, 8 years. 8 years.
it took me 8 years. Yes, I was done visa 4 times before I got
Ah,
the one to come and study for masters here. Now, one of the things that I always encourage anybody out there who want to go
mhm,
for visa, okay,
mhm.
if you are serious student who want to come and study here,
Yeah.
okay, first of all, don't think that there's gonna be some magic for you to come and study. You need to figure out your finances. Okay, don't
Yes.
come blindly. Either maybe you have a scholarship already, or maybe you can take a student loan. These lenders usually offer master's students. I usually also highly encourage people to come for their masters. Undergraduate, there's very high chance that you're gonna get denied. Okay,
Yes.
that's why also I was getting denied when I was trying to come for my undergraduate. Now, also what I also see with a lot of our people, and by the way, statistics show that about 70% of those who go to seek student visas in Africa, they get denied. You know why? Because our approach to these visa interviews is terrible. Like, like we get misadvised on what we need to do. And that's really also why we have our visa coaching programs to really prepare those students who want to come and study here for these visa interviews. Okay, so we get a lot of people get misadvised. You know what happens? Most people, they get told, hey, you know what? There's money in the US. Of course there is, and Canada. You just find a means of getting there. Maybe these are usually not even serious students. Okay. And the US, of course, they have those statistics. They know that we have like about 30% of people who are here without documents. They refuse to go back. They don't have they have all that information. So they know there's high chance, because we come from Africa anyways, we are poor. There's a very high chance of coming here and not going back. It's what it is. These are things that you have to deal with. Okay. But how do you now increase your odds of getting that visa? Okay, one, let's say, for example, if you did your undergraduate, you can't come and decide to come here for an associate degree or for another undergraduate also, because that visa officer will think that you are really using the student visa as a means of coming to the US. You're not going to come to the US to study. You understand? So that's usually
Yes.
the problem that a lot of our people, I mean, that's something that a lot of our people do. Oh, unaambiwa, okay, kuja, come to the US, take a nursing associate, and yet you had to become like me for undergraduate, and you're trying to come here for an associate in nursing or another undergraduate in nursing, and yet you have an undergraduate in BCom from Kenya. You're not going to get that visa. You're
Nobody is
not going
going
to
to
get
grant
it.
you a visa. Mm-hmm.
Yes, they'll deny you. Now, on the other hand, also, the other thing that I see a lot of our people doing is they just want to get here. They just want to find a means of getting here. And by the way, if you are watching this, me, I like addressing serious students. If you're one of those students who just want to come to America just to find a means of coming here, probably maybe I may not be the right person for you. Okay. So, but if you are out there and you're a serious student who want to come here, do good, get to school, finish school, get good money, then you are my audience. You are the person that I want to address to. See, also, you can't see, as much as I'm giving advice and everything, I can't attract everybody, because there are people who
Yes.
want to do something else. Me, I try to focus on those good ones, smart ones who really want to come and study here. They are serious about coming to study. And that's what the US government also wants. If you
Yes.
show to the US government that you are actually a serious student with funding, you have the means of coming to study here, and you are coming to a program that is tied to what you did previously, then you're going to get a job. So and then you're gonna get the visa. Now, let's say, for example, in our Kenya Airlift program, also part of what we do, because also if you are coming through the Kenya Airlift program, let's say, for example, you did sociology for your undergraduate, and you are coming here to do business analytics programs. Also, what we do, we train these students before they get here, because that whole process usually takes a whole year to get here. Okay, they have exams that they have to do and all that, GMAT exams and all that. That whole process takes around 1 year. Now, once someone passes the GMAT, also we start now training them on the latest, on the programming languages that probably they'll have to take when they get to school as a prerequisite. Okay, prerequisites are usually undergraduate level classes that you have to take. Let's say, for example, if you didn't have a computer science, if you didn't have, let's say, for example, a business analytics undergraduate, and that business analytics undergraduate really requires you to have, let's say, for example, fundamentals, some background in Python programming language, you're going to have to do those prerequisites. Now, what we do, we train on these guys on those prerequisites so that now they don't have, because also if you come to school and start doing these prerequisites, they cost money.
Yes.
We don't want them to do that. So we want to prepare them in advance so that now they already have the fundamental basics, the basics of, IT programming languages that they will need when they get to that, to the master's level. Okay, so it's the same thing. When they go to the embassy, they argue their case that, hey, you know what? Yes, I didn't have, let's say, for example, I had a degree in sociology, but actually I have this training on Python, on this and this and this that I've trained on that prepares me for a master's program in IT. Okay, so that to the visa officer shows that this is a serious student. You see, it happens. Everybody can't do sometimes people change their career. For example, like me right now, I did business. I'm not in business. You understand? Yeah, I'm not in business. But if I can show why I ended up in IT, if I explain to you why I ended up in IT, of course, then you see, okay, this guy is genuine. He's really into IT. You understand? So it's the same thing. If you want to do your master's in IT, for example, and you didn't have an IT undergraduate, you must have done something that actually even made the school to accept you, because they don't just accept anybody. You have to show that you are working on something. And these are some of the trainings that we do on the side. Okay, and we have documentation to show that you've done that. So if you go to that embassy, you have to present that and argue your case that I've actually done these kind of trainings that prepares me very well for this master's level classes. And that's really also why I was accepted to this school to do this kind of a program. You understand? So if you explain that, then you won't have a problem getting the visa. Do you know what? In our Kenya Airlift program so far, we've not even had one student get denied a student visa. Not even one.
That was the question that was coming next. For how long now? For how long?
Not even one. We started the program in 2018. The first student came in 2019. Of course, we don't have like a lot of students yet. Okay. Right now, we are averaging about a student a day enrollment, those who are paying and getting into the program. But it's not like those who are joining the program immediately, they come to the US. Remember, it takes a whole year for you to come here. Okay, we bring students in August and January. August, January. For example, this coming August, we're going to have about 10 students coming. So these who are coming now, those 10 of them, 2 of them just got visas last week. We have a few more waiting for their visas. Okay, wow. So those 10, they probably joined the program in 2019, maybe end of 2019, 2020, around there. Because you see, for you to come to do a program, you have to do some exams called GMAT, which requires you to study for.
To study and pass,
and pass very well. Because also these schools, they don't just give these scholarships just like that. Just because you want a scholarship, they give you. No, you have to show you have a very good GMAT score. And even these lenders, you have to show that you have a very good GMAT score. Otherwise, everybody will be getting these loans and then they don't pay back. And you know how we are also Kenyans. We don't pay these loans.
Just like hell. Just like help in Kenya, we
Just
don't
like
pay.
help. People don't pay. We require students also to show us their credit reports, and most of them, they don't have really good credit. It's what it is. I know, of course, the situation in Kenya is really bad, especially with the economy and all that. People don't have jobs. There's a lot of people, defaulting loans and all that. But still, you really have to work on your credit if you want someone to trust you with their money also. All they want is just to come here, right? They're not really serious with school. They present a bank statement. They claim it's their uncle, it's their auntie, blah, blah, blah. They don't even share the same surname. Okay. And you are saying that, okay, my uncle is going to pay for this amount of money. And the visa officer will ask you, for example, why would your uncle pay $50,000 for you? Even the uncle, even for you, Joyce, an uncle who loves you so much, why would that uncle pay for you? I mean, it's not normal. In an ideal world, in a normal world, people don't pay that kind of money for just anybody just because you are my niece or I'm your uncle.
Yes.
I cannot pay 50,000 for my nieces in Kenya to come and study here.
No.
Okay. What I'll do, if they want to come and study, I'll try to find means of getting them accepted to a school and then give them a bank statement and ask them to claim that I'm going to pay for them. So that's what a lot of our people do.
Yes.
You do that, you're not going to get the visa. Maybe you might get, but chances are that you won't get a visa. Okay. So that is for people who really are not interested in coming to study. But like I said, I like talking to serious students who want to come and study here. Go to school, finish, and get good jobs. Those are the ones that I'm always addressing. Okay, so if you are one of those, then don't just get a bank statement out of nowhere. You have no idea how you're going to fund your education, because
how much people
in the US, you won't be able to. I'm sorry?
Sorry, how much money do they need?
It all depends with the school, how much the school is charging. Usually the school gives you a document called the I-20 that indicates the amount of money needed for your tuition and living expenses. So depending with that, then you give a bank statement or you show funding. If you get a loan, you give them the loan letter to show that you have a loan. Then now they give you the I-20, and that I-20 is the one that you take to the embassy together with your supporting paperwork for finances. Okay.
So you can't tell us like approximately how much somebody can prepare. Like for a bank statement, we know it's usually between, I think it's 2 million and above, right? The bank statement.
Most schools here, because most schools you have to show around $20,000. That's like the lowest amount schools that show here. So if that's the case, then your bank statement also need to reflect that kind of money.
Oh,
not necessarily that when you take it to the embassy, the ending balance doesn't have to be really 2 million, but at least that bank statement should show like money coming in and moving out. Like it should show activities of good money coming in and out.
Yes.
Yes. The visa office, you see, these guys are trained. They know what to look out for. If you also take a bank statement and you just put like 1 million Kenya shillings in that bank statement, like last week, they're not going to give you the visa. Okay, because that's what a lot of people do. They go, someone deposits some money into a bank account. That bank account had like 10,000 Kenya shillings. And then out of nowhere, they put 1,900,000 Kenya shillings in their account 2 weeks before they go for the embassy. The visa officer will look at it. They won't even give you a chance even to explain yourself. They'll deny you.
What if you show them that maybe you sold a piece of land and you have documents to show that?
Now, that's the thing. So that's why those students who are well prepared, those serious, that's why it comes to seriousness in this whole thing, right? A serious student will have answers on why they have that kind of a deposit in their bank statement. And the visa officer will ask you, if you are not prepared, if you just got a bank statement out of nowhere and someone put in the money, you're going to be like, oh, I don't know. Oh, but you have to explain, where did it come from? Do you also have any paperwork to support that?
Sale agreement and all that.
Yes. If you say you sold land, okay, where's the agreement? What shows that, where are the documents that shows that you actually sold land? Okay, have those things. Explain also. You see also, when it comes to visas, it's also how you explain things. not even what you have. Okay, and that's really also what we focus a lot on our visa coaching programs. We drill you to tell things the right way, to explain. You see, you are dealing with Americans, man. You know, there's a way that Americans like talking. You have to have that confidence. You have to be able to explain, to be articulate, to tell exactly why this, why not this. If you cannot do that, you see, the problem with our people, the way we grew up being told, like, you know, for you to show respect, you have to be like this, you know, you have to be timid. Yes. I mean, and Americans, they see you like that going to the embassy, you're not going to get the visa.
Nothing.
I mean, in this first world, man, I mean, you see even a 5-year-old kid, like when they talk, like they can challenge you.
Yeah.
That's how they are brought
By the
up.
way, that is an advantage of bringing your kids up here, because kids here, they are so confident. I see my 4-year-old challenging her teacher all the time, telling her, why did you tell us this? Why are you teaching us this?
Yes. In fact, actually, even in our Kenya Airlift program, we focus on these things a lot. I do a lot of mentorships. Even, for example, right now, before these guys come in August, we have an event, a luncheon at the Safari Park Hotel. We talk to these guys. We see, because these are people, most of them, they just finished out of school. You know, they don't have, like, they're just like me the way I used to be. You know, they are like, you know, they have not been exposed to this kind of, you know, what they want to do here. So we explain to them, this is how it works. This is how the Americans are. Okay, this is how you talk. You know, all those things. This is how you build your confidence, all that. Like, for example, me, I couldn't even speak in front of people. I see myself nowadays even talking to international TV stations, and I'm like, wow. This is the same Bob. More than 10 years back, I couldn't stand in front of people in my undergraduate class to do a presentation.
Yeah.
Okay. But if you come here and you have confidence, even getting good jobs and jobs that pays you well, it depends with how you handle that interview also for the job. Okay.
Wow.
So we mentor them on all these things. Even actually, I think also if you watch my video for the Kenya Airlift program, we bring these students first to Tampa. Even though the schools are outside other states. For example, you're sending students to Alabama, Illinois, South Dakota, but the first stop is usually in Tampa. In fact, actually, I've been housing them in my house. It's only that I don't have a big house now, and we are getting so many students now coming, so I can't really host them. So we're gonna be getting some, you know, some house for them, you know, somewhere in, you know, like a resort of that kind of a thing. We put them there. And we bond, we talk to them, you know, we have events with them, we show them around, we talk to them. These guys, they need to be talked to. They need to know the challenges that people face when they're here in the US.
I love that. I love that part a lot.
So it's not
because
really about
there's always a shock. There's always a culture shock that we face when we come here.
Exactly. Okay, how do you handle this kind of a situation, How now also, how do you, for example, start building your credit? You're gonna need these things. How those little things that I didn't have anybody to tell me about, we handle those things. They spend at least 3 days here in Florida, here in Tampa, okay? Together, we eat together, we do grills, we go to the beach, we show them around, we talk to them. Okay, that's what we want. We want these guys to have an experience. Okay, taking them to the safari park before they come here, we have that lunch. And there's a lot of these students who have never even been to a 5-star hotel. We want them to have that experience. It's part of the whole experience of the Kenya Airlift program. Okay.
So how much are they supposed to pay you as Bob?
Well, I mean, for someone to join the Kenya Airlift program, they actually contribute to the circle, because we formed a circle for the program where now we collect contributions from the students. Okay, and these contributions also, we realized students who, we may get a student funded here in the US, but actually there's so much poverty back home, man. I mean, there's some students you can get them funded here in the US, but actually, even taking care of that the money that is needed for the relocation process, it's a problem because it requires money. You need money to sit for GMAT exam. It costs quite a lot of money. You need money for visas. You need money for immunizations. You need money for air tickets. You need money for service fee. You need our consulting fees as Upstack America of $1,000. See, that's a lot of money. So a lot of people, so what we did, we formed a circle. A circle is basically a bank. Where now, because we are getting so many students joining the program, okay, on a daily basis, we are averaging about a student a day nowadays. And these students, they contribute $1,000, okay, into the circle. Now the circle has revolving fund where now it can be able to lend to the students to take care of those relocation expenses. So we normally give them $3,000. So that $3,000 will take care of their air tickets. Even the first month of their rent, it will be taken care of by the circle's, money that they gives them. And then the circle doesn't even want them to repay immediately. The circle will get the money once we get these guys jobs. So actually,
they pay back with an interest. Do they pay back with an interest?
Yes, they pay back with the interest for the circle. And we make sure that we get these guys jobs because already they have the money also from the circle.
Yes.
Okay. Yes. So that's really how we fund the program. So because we know that whole process requires money, as much as we really want to, bring students here without even having any cost. Still, there's a cost that is associated with the program. If you really want to come and study here in the US, it costs millions and millions of Kenya shillings. But in the airlift program, all you're asking you is contribute $1,000, and you'll find your way here to the US. Okay. So how you get that $1,000? You go sell your land, go do a fundraiser, because also there's
a lot of people that is not a lot. That is not a lot.
It's not a lot. People like we get all kinds of people like who come to asking about the program, right?
I think I'm going to send you somebody immediately for August.
There's some people out there. You saw human beings sometimes. I don't know. There's so many people there with so much limiting beliefs in them. They think just because they are poor, they cannot raise 100,000. And I asked them, what if you ask me to, what I asked them, what if you ask me to raise $1 million?
Do you know how much the agencies? Do you know how much the sorry, Bob? Do you know how much agencies are charging them to come to Canada for a visitor visa? 700,000 Kenya shillings.
Exactly. And what we are doing, you can hear what we are doing in our programs. All right, our training programs alone. What we train you, we charge a lot of money here in the US, and we are training these guys for free. Okay, there's some people out there who have limiting beliefs. They think like $1,000 it's a lot of money to them. They don't even know how they can be able to raise that money. I usually tell people, seriously, if you can't raise $1,000, you should not think of leaving your country.
Stay there.
Stay there. Stay there. Seriously, stay there.
Be serious. Yeah, we've got
to be serious. You should be. If you can't raise, go do fundraiser. People pay to. I've seen families paying the police force bribes or the army for someone to go to the police force and get killed in the military or whatever. Then they pay even 400, 500,000 Kenya shillings.
And that's
what people do in Kenya, right? People bribe to get into the military, police force.
Yes.
And you are here, you are complaining about contributing $1,000 to get into a program that actually gives you money. The circle gives you money. We train you on the side. Okay, we help you get jobs here in the US. What else do you want?
But then are you doing it for other countries other than Kenya?
No, right now we are just handling Kenya because also our circle is in Kenya. We don't want to be dealing with people outside of Kenya because also getting the money from them later on might prove to be a problem. So we want to deal with people that we know they are from our country. Okay, because also the circle is Kenyan based. Because also what we want, once the program grows, because 5-10 years down the line, these guys who are coming to the US now as students, they're gonna making some really good money. And we know that a lot of our people, we've been shortchanged. Those who want to invest back home, even sometimes you tend to see that you tell someone like, I want to build something, even your own family, they start eating your money. You can't even trust them.
I know that.
Yeah, so what we want, we also want this circle to be a vehicle for investments back in Kenya. To these guys, 5-10 years down the line, when they're making good money, they want to invest back home. Who do they use? They don't have to start struggling looking for people who can be able to help them with their investments. The circle can do that. We can have those investments back in Kenya.
They have already built trust with you.
Yes.
So what is the starting salary of an IT person?
Well, to get into the IT industry, to start off, you get around 500,000 Kenya shillings, around $60,000. That's when you are starting. Now, this is an industry where
that
you
is
grow.
more than nurses. I thought nurses earn more than IT gurus.
No, you guys think you guys make money? Money is in the IT industry. I'm telling you.
I think I'm going to change this nursing and come and do IT.
Money. Honestly, let me tell you, it's tech industry. You can make a lot of money. Like I said, I used to make my last salary before I quit my job. I was making $135,000 a year. Okay, jeez. And I'd worked for only me. I started working in 2012. I quit in 2017. That was like in 5 years' time. I started making a 6-figure salary 1 year after I graduated from school. Okay, you can't make that kind of money in as a nurse. I mean, even like I say, even to make a 6-figure salary in the IT sector, you don't have to do so many hours. All you work Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. So there's really good money in the tech industry.
You have time with family. Yeah, you have time with family. You have time with family.
Yes, you do. Yes, you do. Yeah. So I'm challenging you to get into tech. Yeah.
My son will come. You notice that he's the one that does my editing. I keep calling him, come. and something, Bob, I think IT, let me say this. I think IT is in the hands of some people, not everybody.
Yes, it's not for everybody. Yes.
Because like my son, nobody teach him anything, but those skills are on the hand. Things that I struggle with. Myself, I struggle with a lot of editing. But he comes and does papa, and he gets it. So it's not for everybody.
It's not for everybody. And even also because also nursing really pays well. Yeah. It's one of those well-paying jobs. And I always say this because also a lot of our people, they want to get into nursing also. A lot. In fact, almost everybody. It's like nursing. That's even, I think, why also you're surprised. Like, oh, IT also pays this much, because everybody is into nursing because they think that's really where the money is. But also, even nursing is not really for anybody. I mean, I think any career out there, you have to have passion also on what you are doing. Passion. Don't follow the career.
Yes.
If someone is just telling you, okay, there's money here, if you don't really like it,
there has to be passion.
There has to be passion for it. You have to be passionate. If you're not passionate, unfortunately, you're gonna do it for maybe a few years and then you got burnt out and
too bad.
You stop. Yeah. Yeah, so it's what it is.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is so interesting, Bob. I think we are going to call you again if you have time, because I know people are going to come back with questions. It's very interesting. Most people have not heard about this.
Yes, there's a lot of people out there, and that's really why I like sharing this information, because information can be very, very powerful. I personally am in the tech industry because someone told me about this. Remember, I said I was struggling. If those Indian friends of mine, they never told me, oh, Bob, you can do this and this and this. Today, as we speak, I don't know what I would be. I wouldn't be impacting people's lives through my company. Okay, I will be doing some big things that you are trying to do in my company. I wouldn't be doing that. But it's because actually someone shared that information with me. It's the same thing. I try to share this information out there. If someone is out there and they're actually serious about coming to study here in the US, then they can take up the opportunity. They come here, we help them. Okay, so that's all. I mean, you just need to get that information, and after that, you're good. So, and I know there's going to be a lot of questions, and also people asking like how they can also get hold of me. If you're out there and you really want to get to know much more about the Kenya Airlift program, you can go to the Kenya Airlift program website. We have a website specifically dedicated for that program. It's www.kenyaairliftprogram.com. www.kenyaairliftprograms. Program, you spell it as program.com. If you go there, you can download the program handbook. You'll be able to see how the program works, the schools that we work with, the lenders, everything about the program that we probably haven't even talked about in this show. Also, at the website, you can be able to see some of the beneficiaries. We share a lot of videos. Okay. Also, if you are here and you are watching me and you like what I shared, subscribe also to my YouTube channel.
Yes,
Okay,
yes,
because I have a channel, it goes by Bob Mwiti. Go there, subscribe. I push a lot of content out there on a daily basis. I mean,
yes.
like 3 times a week. Mostly my content is revolves around coming to study here in the US. I share a lot of information about different universities, the cost that associated with your studies, living expenses, and stuff like that. I also share a lot of information about the tech industry. Okay, if you want to get into tech, what do you need to do? What are some of the skills that you need to have? All that information I share on my YouTube channel. Also, I'm big on Facebook. You can also search for my Facebook page. It goes by Bob Mwiti. So yeah, just do that and I will be able to communicate. Also, if you go to the Airlift website, you'll be able to, there's some contact details there, our phone number, our email address. Just need to email us and we can take it from there. So that's pretty much it.
Thank you so much, Bob Mwiti. I think I'm going to leave, you're going to share with me your link for both the website and the
Yes.
YouTube and even
Yeah.
for Facebook, so that I leave it on the description section
Oh, yes.
and also on the
Yeah.
comment section, so that in
Yeah.
case you have questions, you can always follow him on his YouTube and also on the website.
Absolutely.
Otherwise, we are so grateful. Thank you so much for joining our show, for coming to share all that information with us. Guys, I always tell you on this channel, you're going to always find exciting information that nobody else is going to tell you out there. So stay here and thank you so much. We're gonna say bye-bye and see you next time. Thank you.
Bye-bye. Thank you so much.
Okay.
You've been watching Success with Bob Mwiti Show, brought to you by Appstech America. Come back next time to hear more steps and missteps that I took on the path to becoming a successful immigrant in USA. Be sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel and also follow me on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and LinkedIn.